welcome to Stoke the Fire. Today is 9/11/2017. My name is Susie Mazzoli and I'm here together with my dear friend and colleague for Stoke the Fire, Pamela Cuccinell. And if you've never joined us before, let me briefly tell you what we do. Pam provides for us about a 20-minute forecast of the astrology for the week coming up, as in today, Monday, going through to next Monday. And I have to say that I've been working with Pam now for, wow, it must be like 17 years. And of course, she is my trusted astrologer. And Pam's work with astrology, I'm sure you will find, is very, very practical. She gives us a lot of information that we can really use in a very practical way to go through our week, like what to be watching out for, what to really concentrate on, where we can put our energy. And then during the last 10 minutes of the program, I do a channeled activation with the master teachers, which is a very strong energetic turbo boost meditation, which is based on the energy of what's coming up with the astrology of the week. And so these activations, you can listen to them again and again and again. And usually they're relevant for any time of the year. So if you want to listen to them at any time, feel free, but they are based for this week. And stokethefire.guru is our website where you can learn more about our program and learn more about what we do. And if you'd like to join us as a member, then you can sign up at stokethefire.guru, where we actually have a special for new people, which is a cost in the price for the first 6 weeks of the program. And then you get the encapsulated version of the weekly forecast and meditation sent to you as an MP3, which you can listen to at your leisure, actually before Monday. So it comes to you beforehand so you can plan your week. And it's a great little half-hour, absolutely edited version of just the basics of what's going on for the week. So we hope that you will join us. If you decide to sign up for the year for Stoke the Fire, then we also give to you an hour session, either with myself or with Pamela. Pamela would be doing your horoscope with your natal chart, answering questions about what's going on. And if you choose to do a session with me, then we do an hour healing session with intuitive guidance and with some insight into what's happening to you also during the year and what you can work with spiritually. And I would just like to introduce this little one here. This is my new puppy, who some of you might have already heard in the background in some of our other programs. And her name is Nutmeg, and she is an adorable little Hungarian Vizsla puppy. I'm actually Hungarian, and she's just joined our family. She's just a couple months old, so now she's asleep. So I'd like to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Pamela Cuccinell. And maybe, Pam, you can tell us a little about your work as well.
Sure. I love seeing Nutmeg. It's last week I got to actually meet Nutmeg, who's adorable, but especially adorable when she's slumbering. And I think she's going to be a very big dog. So that'll be fun, because right now she's obviously on Susie's lap, and she will probably continue to want to be on Susie's lap even when she starts to get much bigger. So I am Pamela Cuccinell. I am a certified consulting astrologer within CGR, the National Council for Geocosmic Research. And I say that just because it was a rather long certification program I did when I was single and had a lot more time to really invest and deep dive into very academic work, actually. One colleague of mine said that it was, to go through the certification was much more rigorous than her dissertation from Carnegie Mellon. So that'll give you an idea of how we astrologers actually will vet one another with this ancient, but also one thing about astrology, and one reason why it's really taken off with the internet, is because it adapted so well with computers. I mean, once we were able to put in a lot of data and bring out this reams of information where we could go back and research and project forward, gave a lot more credibility to a craft that we all knew was working, but now actually there are academic institutions that will give someone a bachelor's or master's in astrology. But mine was a program that was more not just self-taught. I studied with a lot of wonderful teachers. So now I am actually a teacher and an educator and a person who works one-on-one with people and loves to share information, as we're doing tonight, depending on when you're actually seeing this. As Susie said, our members get the encapsulated essence, usually on Sunday evening, which lets them plan their week and also get into the zone of the best way to put their foot forward starting Monday. And I'll get into that in just a second. I do want to mention I'm doing a very special webinar. It's airing on September 12th. So you can sign up for that. It's a free webinar. It'll teach you how to increase success every lunar month in business and in life. And I just, for some people it may seem very rudimentary, but for other people it shows you an awareness of the lunar cycle and how you can work with it to make your life more effective. And I talk about that every time we're doing Stoke the Fire, but this is actually this is how you do it yourself discussion. And you can find out about that at spotonastrology.com. My website is insightoasis.com, and there you can find out about how I work one-on-one with a person, or it can just be one shot, or it can be an ongoing, let's develop a certain goal and really time it well with astrology, because astrology is great for accurate timing. Want a good day for a wedding? Want to make sure the weather's nice for your party? Want people to show up for an event that you're planning? An astrologer. So let's get into the week of September 11th. Now, I can't really say September 11th as a New Yorker without remembering September 11th, 2001 very acutely. And the interesting thing about 2017 9/11 day is that the moon has been in the sign of Gemini as of 3:29 p.m. So for those of you who are subscribers, the moon has been void of course until 3:29 p.m. So this Monday really is a day when people are feeling more reflective, less connected, more in a space of wanting to move through something, may not feel that emotionally aware until we get the moon in Gemini coming in the later afternoon. Once that happens, I think there's going to be a lot of buzz and emotional connection, especially perhaps with people who are affected by 9/11, who are still affected by 9/11, or just a general awareness of whatever one's feeling is about what happened at that point in time and where we are at this point in time. I mean, for people in the United States, 9/11, 2001 changed their world, especially New York people, but it could reverberate out certainly. And one thing I remember acutely is that I saw a lot of people leave New York City, and I saw a lot of people come back to New York City, and other people just sort of dig their heels into New York City. So it really brought up very emotional sense of allegiance to that particular spot on the planet. So to talk about this a little more globally, with the moon entering Gemini later in the afternoon, the World Trade Center, which no longer exists, but they're creating new things down there. And for anyone who comes through the New York area, if you get a chance to go to the memorials, they are incredibly beautiful and moving. Also, what's interesting about the memorials is that the actual footprint where the tower stood is was honored and has become basically a vessel to receive water. So it's a continual waterfall, both footprints, and then ringing the footprints are the names of all the people who were lost that particular day. So why I'm thinking about this so acutely is because when Hurricane Sandy came through, of course, the waters washed and filled these gaping holes. So anyway, there's a lot to remember today. And so memory comes through, I think, very acutely, especially late afternoon into the evening. And the memories may or may not be connected to you for 9/11. You may not have any emotional attachment to it. There may be no connection with that, but still connections to other people and memories and where your personal bedrock is may be very strong Monday, late afternoon, evening. So if you're feeling a little like nothing's quite gelling together in the early part of the day, it's an excellent time to methodically clear out, organize, do things you have to do, eat well, be in your body, do something physical. Once that Gemini moon comes in, things are just like flying. Ideas are popping, words are coming out of nowhere, things are flashing. No doubt the media will be full of, but think about what I'm saying here. I'm talking about 9/11, historic imprint, and how it also brought in different kinds of media, different kinds of conversation, terrorism alerts or lights, or people giving up a certain amount of autonomy, all happened because of the threat of needing to know who everybody was and where they are. So when we think about all these things that our technology allows, I'm carrying around my phone, and whether or not I have certain things on, somebody can find out where I am because my phone is a receiver. It's also letting people know, here she is, this is where she's doing. Unless, of course, I'm visiting Susie in the Catskills and then I'm in a no zone, but I'm just joking. But there are places on the planet where there's still a no zone, but few and far between as things are going. So there's that piece of it, but also the hurricanes that have been coming through, and the hurricanes that have been coming through that flood in and change how we think communication happens. I mean, for me personally, we have family in Cuba. We have family in Florida. So this has been a very, can't get in touch with what's going on time. And so Moon in Gemini, Monday evening, you might be hearing from certain people, other people you're not hearing from, just a lot of jazzy energy. So meditation, really important. Focusing, really important. Maybe hard to do until we get to Tuesday. Now I'm going to talk a lot faster, which I tend to do. I tend to set up the week and then I start to book along. So the 12th, Moon is still in the sign of Gemini, but we have a picture in the sky between Venus and Saturn, which feels to me very much about where is the economic solvency in your life and the broader life. So when I say economic solvency, I'm not just talking about the illusion of money, because money is an illusion. You may have everything you think you need in a bank or an institution or somewhere. But we do know the currency is really only worth what all the institutions, channels, ways you get to it say that it's worth. You know, you can have it and then you cannot have it. And I'm not saying this to instill fear in people at all. What I'm saying is think about your economic solvency. And when I use that term, I'm really saying, what is it that you really can depend on in your life? So Moon and Gemini, Saturn, Venus picture, have you built community, solvency, a sense of structure where you can rely on people? Because it all comes down to people. When we see hurricane things coming through, what is it that makes the huge difference? How community bands together, supports one another in spite of all these perceived differences that people have. So it's almost like what I'm seeing as an astrologer is I'm looking at how we have become very fractured and polarized. Oh, he's on this side, she's on this camp, and he believes in this, and she believes in that, and they believe in this, and they believe, and yet it takes a natural occurrence, and it's interesting calling it a natural occurrence, that seems chaotic, but basically is doing a recalibration, a realignment. What is it that you really value? So economic solvency, distill it down to what is it you really value? What's most important in life? Who is it that matters to you? Susie's nutmeg knows, you know, she needs a nice warm lap, and she's good. And so what makes your life good? And I think that presence of mind, Monday evening into Tuesday, and then as we go through Wednesday, presence of mind, in spite of all the spin, in spite of all the blah, 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 blah that's going on, just think to yourself, what is it that I really, truly value? And I keep getting the picture of the triangle. So in metaphysics, it's a very old spiritual, and you see it everywhere. It's the six-pointed star. So you've got the one triangle, like the pyramid, which is seated on the earth. And that is the part that's seated on the earth, but it's also going upward. So it's how do we bring down from thought or higher energy something that makes us rock solid. And that's energetically what we're working on, is that piece. But it's also the bottom pointed triangle that is about the feminine. So the upward is the masculine or yang, and the bottom is the feminine. How do you bring what is your values into the earth, into a place in time? What is the legacy piece? So I know that's a lot of abstractions, but it is kind of a very rich time. And one of the things that's happening is, remember, Sun is in Virgo, so we're doing a lot of what carries us into our sense of service, duty, product. What is it, the details of life that make life perfect, the perfect essence in the today. Wednesday, the moon goes void of course at 2:35 p.m. So basically that whole arc from late afternoon Monday, Tuesday, into the time I just gave you Wednesday, excellent time to be really investing in what you're in for the long run. So goal orientation, compassion, people in your life. There's so many things out there that need help right now. And it may be most helpful to focus on one thing or a couple of things that you're going to invest your energy and time in. And one little consistent effort can do so much more than just being all over the place. So moon is void, of course, 2:35 p.m. to 6:12 p.m. on Wednesday. And this leads us, we've got the last quarter moon in the sky, so we're really in this kind of what are we integrating, completing, wrapping up, moving through. And in that void of course time, it can be really excellent for just sort of saying, okay, this I'm just plowing through to just get off my desk. This is getting shelved, you know. What is it I don't need? Excellent time to kind of purge out for the tag sales that people do in September, or just get through stuff that just has to get off your desk. When the moon goes into Cancer at 6:12 p.m., then we're in a period which, and I've said this for continual listeners have heard this, when the moon is in a cardinal sign, Libra, Aries, Cancer, or Capricorn, it is going to go across that kind of minefield of the outer planets, which are in cardinal signs, Uranus and Pluto. Uranus is in Aries, Pluto is in Capricorn. So as the moon is riding through Cancer, she's making geometric pictures with some kind of rocky confrontational energy. So it's not that you can't get things done over this period. It's just that you're going to know, especially in this period of time, Wednesday evening through basically early Friday evening, something's going to flip out. I mean, something's going to not go the way you thought it would. So adaptability is key. A sense of, okay, I've got to change horses in midstream, which is difficult when the moon is in the sign of Cancer because we tend to be attached. We're attached to, especially if we have a personal signature that connects with the sign of Cancer. So people with strong water signs or earth signs may feel a very strong investment in the way things are done, or emotional attachment, or I've put this amount of money in this, so I want it to go a certain way. It really is, it's kind of, you're being set up to go through some kind of release, whatever it is, anything that's initiated at this time. So if you are in process of doing something or something's happening, just know that it may not go exactly as you had it in mind. Best thing to do, Wednesday evening, have a nice grounding meal somewhere where you feel very comfortable. That's really good. If you're a swimmer, swim. If you love baths, take a bath. If you love to look at water, that's great to do too. So Thursday is a really dynamic day. A lot can get done. Just know that there may be some sort of undercurrent or power struggle that's happening. And sometimes, really, it's not even just sometimes. Often I remind people sometimes the biggest power struggle is within yourself. And really, especially people who are more psychologically oriented, are aware that if you're having a real problem with somebody else, you got to look in the mirror, because why are you having a real problem with somebody else? And actually, this is a huge lesson for anybody who's on any Facebook threads right now, because people's, how they feel about politics or social issues is so screaming raw right now that their ability to listen isn't really at its best. And I think that when the moon is in the sign of Cancer, yes, it's making you acutely aware of what you're emotionally invested in and why. But unless you're really listening to whoever it is you're trying to convince or who you see as the enemy, no bridge is ever going to be forged. And I'm not talking compromise. I'm talking taking that leap to objectivity, which is a leap. And it's available, actually, on Thursday and Friday. That leap is available, even if it's just a glimpse, but it can be just a glimpse. May not change how you or someone else is doing life, but it can start to give a little opening for whatever happens next. So on the 15th, Friday, as I said, moon goes void, of course, 5:23 p.m. The thorniest point in time basically is late afternoon, early evening. This is a time if you're out and about, moving around, even if you're just walking, pay attention where you are. I mean, again, I live near New York City. I spend time, I am continually amazed when people cross the street like this. What? You're crossing the street. There's bicycles, there's cabbies. It's New York City, it's Times Square. Hello? Hello? So anyway, pay attention, especially Friday the 15th. The moon goes void, of course, from, as I said, 5:23 p.m. until 9:09 p.m. That is the perfect time, that void time, to be with people you love, to be in reflective time, to really give yourself some delicious reboot time, personal hugs. Oh my goodness, you know, allow yourself that sense of what I would call Cancerian bliss. I mean, where is your nest? If you don't have, if you're kind of living off a backpack or you're moving around a lot, what gives you a sense of I'm home, I feel loved, I feel in a place that's my space. It could be a nature walk, someplace that always makes you feel sheltered and loved. Do it. So the weekend has the Leo moon, which happens starting 9:09 p.m. This is when the glamour and the fun starts, Friday night. It's like, let's party, let's have fun, let's do something creative, let's do something romantic, let's do something that really makes me feel playful and creative and alive. And so it's really a great weekend for that. For if you're not a person who easily plays, you must have a friend who does. Call that friend or text that friend. I'm sorry, I'm showing my age. Text that friend. Get in touch with that friend. Be with that friend. Find a four-legged friend. Do something that makes you feel playful. Really, really important for Saturday and Sunday. The moon goes void, of course, 8:55 p.m. on Sunday. And again, in the sign of Leo, do something that gives you a cultural release, a sense of feeling a higher octave of humanity, which really we can all benefit now in these kind of crazy times. But overall, the 16th, 17th looks to me like a delicious weekend for fun. And really, especially Sunday by early evening, you should really have a sense of, I feel loved, I feel valued, especially if you did your homework at the beginning of the week when I said, what is it you value? Bring it down to earth. By the end of the week, you could have a real sense of, this is what's important. And really, honestly, from a bigger reverberation point, if we all felt very kind of focused and loved, and that we were agents of love, well, that is kind of the answer, isn't it? So next time you're feeling that sort of explosion of fear, anger, injustice, imbue yourself with a sense of love. Think of something you really, really love. Whatever it is, that first tulip that pops out in the spring, child you know, an animal you know. What is it you love? And then carry that like a torch. Okay, now I turn it over to Susie.
So Pam, what is the one word that you really see coming up this week?
Well, I think the one word, values.
Values.
Yeah, it's like what is it you truly value? What do you truly love? As opposed to what you're attached to or what you believe. It's more, what is the integral essence of what makes you alive? I mean, this whole hurricane and World Trade Center combination of the two images, to me, it just seems like the flooding, the water, we are so detached from how we are universally connected, how we are all part one of this universal soup. So because we're in denial of it, oh, this is mine, this is my camp, I'm here, we're getting deluged.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not seeing how we're all part of the whole. So I'm having trouble thinking of one word, I think, because to me, it's more of an image.
Okay, so the word that comes up for me very, very strongly is truth, that I value truth. And because with truth comes democracy and equality and respect and the truth about human beings comes out so much. So, okay, let's jump into our activation. And I invite everyone just to relax and close your eyes. Dear loved ones, as we begin to work together, we invite you now to deepen into that place within yourself where is, let us call it the deepest peace. Peace is that place that is very, very deep. It is that internal nugget. It is not something that we acquire from the outside. It is not something that we can buy or purchase online. It is not something that we have to go out and get. It is something that already exists within us. It is one of the deepest, deepest places within you. So just deepen into that place now of peace. Incredible, deep peace. Go through all the layers of energy, of flesh, of bone, of organs. Go through all of the layers of information, of dogma, of concepts, of experiences. Go through everything and find that place of inner peace within yourself. And in that place of inner peace, there is such incredible energy. It is a place of peace that is non-judgmental. It is a place of peace that is full of wisdom, full of respect, full of unconditional love. It is a place where you can act with generosity and with peace and with love. And as you deepen into that place, know that it is always there. It is always accessible. It is always a place that you can find, whether you are standing in the middle of New York City on a busy street, or whether you are standing in the middle of the forest with the birds singing. It's always accessible to you because it is you, because it is absolute and integral to you. So as you deepen into this place, feel the peace. Feel the incredible stillness, unconditional love that is there. Feel the awareness that when you are in this place of peace, you have so much access to all parts of yourself. Feel the gentleness of this awareness. That it is not wrapped up in judgments of right or wrong or this and that, but it is just coming from a place of neutrality. And feel the body softening, the ideas softening, the concept softening. And as everything softens, there's so much more space. So much more space for you to be truly who you are. There is so much more space for you to expand and to see so much more of what is really going on in the world, to really see the truth. To really question what is placed in front of you as information, as a fact, and to really look at what is really going on. You are able to have crystal clear vision and understanding when you come from a place of peace. You don't just absolutely absorb and accept everything that you hear on the evening news, but you begin to have a bigger picture of what's going on, a bigger idea of what's going on in the world and what's going on with you. There is more clarity, more understanding, more wisdom when you come from this place of peace. So, dear loved ones, as you deepen into this place, as you deepen into the peace, begin to look at what it is that you believe to be truth to you. What are your values? What are your goals? What are the concepts that you hold on to so strongly that your knuckles are white? And just look at what happens when I'm not vested in this or that or that. What happens when I take a neutral viewpoint? What happens when I'm respectful of all that is? And what happens when I understand the interconnectedness of everything? And as you deepen more and more into this peace, what happens is you energetically become more aligned and more in tune with all that is. It comes into you literally as a form perhaps of wisdom, but it comes not to you from the outside world. It comes to you from you as you are expanded and visualize, see, understand that you are also the outside world. You are the outside world and the inside world. This is all about perception. There really is no ending to you. You do not stop here where your skin creates the barrier between you and the earth or you and the air. Your energy field expands. Perhaps you go from here all the way throughout the infinite universe. Feel that expansion. Feel it with grace. Feel it with peace. Feel the spaciousness. Feel the spaciousness of your being, of your consciousness, of your awareness. And as you stand in your power now, you are recognizing and taking full responsibility for who you are for this life. And when you take full and complete responsibility, then you allow for this dramatic shift of perspective, seeing what really is here, who you really are, how incredibly powerful you are as an energy, with your thoughts, with your ideas, with your love, with your understanding. So, dear loved ones, as you experience this feeling of expansion, allow it to literally blossom forth from your being and allow it to permeate the atmosphere. Allow it to be shared with others around you. And this energy itself dispels fear, dispels doubt, dispels helplessness, and brings a sense of courage and a sense of strength. Allowing you to be the lighthouse, allowing you to be the bringer of truth, of love, of light to yourself, to your families, to communities. Feel this energy, dear loved ones. Feel the energy of peace, of deep inner peace and awareness. Feel the energy within your physical being, your emotional being. Feel it within the spirit, knowing that this is who you really are. This is the true essence of you. And taking a deeper breath and another deeper breath, feeling this energy throughout your body, throughout your mind, throughout your heart. And as you're ready, gently opening your eyes. Thanks, everybody.
So as a reminder, this is Pamela Cuccinell. We are stokethefire.guru. As Susie said earlier, you can find us at that website, stokethefire.guru, where you can sign up for the encapsulated essence and get the half-hour recording the night before so you can plan your week. Or you can certainly watch us via video. We'll be on next week on the 18th of September. And you can find me, Pamela Cuccinell, at insightoasis.com. And you can contact me about working more deeply or just if you're interested in your personal astrology. But I will say this, that as an astrologer, you can see astrologers and they will tell you things about yourself, like Saturn squares Venus or whatever. But if you want an astrologer who's going to give you a transformational way to look at yourself and encourage you to flower, then I'm your astrologer. So I look forward to seeing you either in person on the phone or next time via video. Susie, why don't you tell people what you're about?
Sure. So my name is Susie Mazzoli. You can find me at susiemazzoli-healer.com. And I also have a school, The Art of Energetic Healing. Our next course starts in October this year, 2017. And you can find that at energyhealingschoolny.com. And it's also a webinar class as well as in person. So I hope to see you all next week without a barking dog. And goodbye from Nutmeg. And thanks so much, Pam. And I hope you all have a very spiritually deepening and wonderfully compassionate, loving week. Bye, everybody. Bye.